RHOBH notice of default filed on Dorit and PK Kemsley. A notice of default has been filed on RHOBH stars, PK, and Dorit Kemsley's home. There long has been speculation that they do not have the money they claim they do. Now that may be true with their home struggles coming to light. So how much does the former couple owe? Keep reading for more details on their current situation. Notice of default filed on PK and Dorit Kemsley. For many seasons, RHOBH stars, PK and Dorit Kemsley have been questioned about how they can live so lavishly. He had previously filed for bankruptcy and they were constantly moving. In season 9, Camille Grammer-Meyer questioned how Dorit had money. She claimed she made the hairs on her neck stand up, and then went on to allege that PK owed a very good friend of hers a lot of money. Camille made a bevy of allegations about PK, which Dorit fiercely defended. The two have since split, with Dorit staying in their lavish Encino home and PK residing in a hotel. They showed their struggles in season 13 of RHOBH as Dorit dealt with PTSD from the home invasion she was involved in. That occurred in season 12 when she was held at gunpoint and never felt PK truly understood her pain. Rather, he was absent and viewed her as a nuisance. Now this upcoming season will see them living apart and how they came to the point where they saw it was time to separate. Unfortunately, they will have to come together for something extremely serious. Their home has defaulted, according to The Sun. On October 16, 2024, a notice of default was filed on the couple's lavish Encino mansion. At the time, they were in the hospital with their son, Jagger, who was dealing with a septic hip. PK and Dorit Kemsley have allegedly missed 4 or more payments on their home. This means that they are in pre-foreclosure, so the process has begun. However, the estranged couple can rectify the situation by paying what they owe in total. The question is if they have that kind of money. 5 years later, P and Dorit Kemsley have lived in their home for 5 years now. A lot has happened since they moved in, including the home invasion and the downfall of their marriage. It may be best that they leave it behind, especially if it will ultimately just be Dorit, Phoenix, and Jagger. Yet finances have not been easy for the two. PK manages Boy George while Dorit has had a bevy of fashion endeavors. Unfortunately, she just had to pay off an IRS line of $635,887. That was from the couple's 2015 taxes. She still owes $90,269, which has yet to be paid, whereas PK owes $986,887 in taxes. The Beverly Hills sun was high in the sky, casting a deceptive glow of prosperity over the city's iconic palm-lined streets. But behind the gates of Dorit and PK Kemsley's sprawling modern mansion, a storm was brewing. A tempest that would soon spill beyond their glass walls and into the public eye where it belonged. After all, this was Beverly Hills, and more importantly, this was the real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It started quietly, as these things often do, with a single letter in an unassuming envelope. The paper inside was not gilded with gold nor scented with luxury. Instead, it bore the cold, stark reality of a notice of default. The message was clear. The Kemsleys were behind on their mortgage, and their opulent lifestyle had once again caught up with them. Dorit, always the consummate fashionista, was in her dressing room when PK brought the letter to her, dressed in a sequined silver blazer and matching wide-legged pants, an outfit she planned to debut at Kyle Richards' upcoming soirée. She barely glanced up from her mirror. "PK, darling," she said, fluffing her perfectly coiffed blonde hair, "if it's not an invite to Paris Fashion Week, I don't want to hear it." PK stood frozen in the doorway, the envelope clutched tightly in his hand. His face, usually brimming with confidence, was ashen. "It's not Paris, love. It's the bank." At the word bank, Dorit's perfectly lined eyes snapped to her husband. "What about the bank?" He hesitated, as if saying it aloud would make it real. "They're threatening to foreclose." "Not my chateau." As the news sank in, Dorit felt a wave of indignation rising within her. "Foreclose?" she repeated, her voice tinged with disbelief. "PK, this is Beverly Hills. People like us don't get foreclosed on. We get renovations and resale value." PK winced. "Well, people like us also need to pay the mortgage, and we haven't." Dorit's mind raced. Sure, there had been some, let's call them hiccups in their finances before. But PK always assured her it was nothing to worry about. He had a way with words, and with money, that made her believe they were untouchable. Yet now, staring at the stark reality in his hands, she realized that even their palatial estate couldn't shield them from the truth. Still, this was Dorit Kemsley. She wasn't about to let a piece of paper undo her. "We'll handle it," she said, her tone resolute. "We'll call our lawyers, our accountants. This is just a misunderstanding." But deep down she knew it wasn't. Word on the street. The first cracks in their perfect facade appeared the next day, when the paparazzi caught wind of the default notice. Photos of Dorit shopping on Rodeo Drive surfaced online, paired with headlines that screamed of financial ruin. House of Cards? One article read, featuring an unflattering close-up of Dorit's expressionless face as she exited a boutique. At Lisa Rinna's Pilates studio, the news spread like wildfire among the cast. Kyle Richards, always the peacemaker, tried to downplay it. "I'm sure it's just a mix-up," she said, sipping her green juice. "Dorit and PK are smart. They'll figure it out." Rinna, however, was less convinced. "Honey," she said, raising a perfectly arched eyebrow, "you don't get a notice of default because of a mix-up. You get it because you're broke." Erica Jane, who had become something of an expert on financial scandal, chimed in. "Trust me, there's always more to the story." By the time Dorit arrived at the group's next dinner, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. The women tried to act casual, but the tension was palpable. Parcelle Beauvais, ever the straight shooter, broke the ice. "So, Dorit," she began, her tone deceptively light, "anything new in your life?" Dorit hesitated, glancing at PK for support. He gave her a small nod and she took a deep breath. "Well," she began, her voice steady, "it seems there's been some chatter about our finances, and I just want to set the record straight. We're handling it." Rinna leaned forward, her lips pursed. "Handling it how?" Dorit's smile didn't falter. "We have professionals for that, Lisa. It's nothing for anyone to worry about." But as the night went on, the cracks in her composure began to show. When Sutton Strack innocently asked if the foreclosure rumors were true, Dorit snapped, "Of course not. What do you think this is, selling Sunset?" The fallout. As the season unfolded, the notice of default became the central drama, eclipsing even Kyle and Dorit's simmering tension over Dorit's newfound closeness with Mauricio. Fans took to social media in droves, dissecting every frame for clues about the Kemsleys' financial state. Was that a knockoff Birkin in Dorit's hand? Did PK just downgrade his watch? Meanwhile, Dorit and PK scrambled behind the scenes to save their home. Meetings with lawyers, financial advisors, and even potential buyers filled their days, but the process took a toll on their marriage. PK's typically jovial demeanor turned sour, while Dorit's constant stress began to seep into her on-screen persona. "I feel like I'm drowning," she confided to Erica during a rare moment of vulnerability. "This house, this lifestyle, it's all just so much." Erica nodded knowingly. "I get it, honey. But sometimes you've got to let go of the things that weigh you down." Redemption or ruin? As the season finale approached, the Kemsleys' fate hung in the balance. Would they manage to save their home, or would they become the latest cautionary tale of RHOBH excess? At the reunion, Andy Cohen wasted no time addressing the elephant in the room. "Dorit," he began, flipping through his coup cards, "the notice of default was a huge storyline this season. Can you tell us where things stand now?" Dorit squared her shoulders, her gaze unwavering. "Andy, I won't lie, it's been a challenging time, but PK and I are resilient. We've faced adversity before, and we'll get through this too." Andy nodded, but the follow-up questions came fast and furious. "Did you sell the house? Are you still in foreclosure? And how do you respond to viewers who say this is a pattern with you and PK?" Dorit took a deep breath. "We've made some tough decisions, but I can say this. Our family comes first. Always. And as for the viewers, well, they only see part of the picture." The final scene. The season ended with a cliffhanger. Dorit and PK hosting a lavish dinner party in their backyard, the lights twinkling as if to defy the darkness creeping into their lives. As the camera panned out, their mansion stood tall against the night sky, A paper palace, perhaps, but for now, still theirs. And in Beverly Hills, appearances are everything.